The noble shard of Bant is made up of the colors white, blue, and green, and is a combination that looks beyond the narrow concerns of the day-to-day, believing that utopia requires more than a dream, demands discipline, dedication, and yes, the courage to make sacrifices along the way. A lofty way of existing that I will be explaining in this video to help you better understand the characters and factions of this game. To do so, I will first explore the examples which magic provides. Then from there, we will be peeling back these surface layers to further uncover the deeper philosophies hidden within. So if that sounds exciting to you, then together we'll look at what it truly means to carry the mantle of an idealist, what it takes to be Bant. If you ever hope to comprehend any combination in magic, you always want to start at the source, the examples of this combination implemented in the game. Then, with that understanding, you can use it as a springboard to come up with more abstract ideas. For the Shard of Bant, our examples will come from three sources. The first being the plane that lent this combination its name, then the faction who uses this shard's colors in the context of its own world, and finally, the most common creature class within it. To the first item, there is the mini plane of Bant from Alara, a world devoid of red and black mana, an important distinction because it's felt throughout this world and its inhabitants. What I mean is that by removing any note of self-satisfaction in favor of order and discipline, what we get is a world of purpose, tradition, and cooperation. As such, selfless devotion comes easy in a place like this, and duty always trumps desire. When it comes to any shard-based factions, we really have one prime example, and that comes from the plane of New Capenna. And specifically in the case of Bant, we have the Brokers, a faction well skewed towards the criminal-focused nature of this plane, still teaches us something about this shard's ideals. Here we have a faction who utilize a benevolent front of being protectors and lawyers in order to cultivate favors to be collected later. Sure, they uphold order and come to the aid of those in need, but every good deed comes at a cost. Our final example comes to us by the way of the most common creature type in Bant, and that is the Soldier, a class that denotes duty, selflessness, and an adherence to a cause. Soldiers in the multiverse are smaller parts of a bigger whole. Not quite the shining hero, but rather the selfless individual ready to lay down their life for their comrades. Now, with these examples laid before us, I bet you're starting to see a pattern when it comes to the ideals baked into Bant. But really, this is just the beginning. From here, we can now start to take this foundation and present three versions of Bant, each leaning more into one of the colors present in the combination, in order to uncover the abstract philosophies of this shard. The will to be a better person means nothing without the discipline to make it happen. The white-focused version of Bant is one who is rigid in their identity and goals. They understand who they are, the tools they were born with, and how they can leverage them to accomplish their idealist way of being, all anchored in White's regimented sense of determination. In this way, White is like a fulcrum between both blue and green. With White's discipline, Green's steady growth, and Blue's endless potential, we see a vision of self-actualization that feels almost inevitable. Imagine the sort of person shaped by this mentality, one who sees who they are and who they can become as a continuous line, driven directly by the colors that comprise it, where an understanding of self is the base, persistence is the motor, and visionary perfection the North Star. Bant moves always towards its ideals. There is no good enough, no settling for a half-best version of themselves and the world around them. Instead, they're forged by their own commitment, focused on an ideal self not because they're unsatisfied, but because they believe in the beauty of what's possible through hard work and dedication. Their dedication brings a stability that not only fuels their own progress, but supports those around them, guiding with a confidence that is earned, not assumed. This, Bant would argue, is how greatness isn't just achieved, but sustained. It's no secret that together we can accomplish more than when we try and go it alone, and yet this world speaks highly only of the individual's ability to achieve greatness for themselves. Why is this, when we know it to be a falsehood? Perhaps it's the sting of red and black within our societies, and the selfishness that those colors represent, when instead we could balance our communities against the ideals of Selesnya to achieve the lofty goals set by blue. This, at least, is the ideal way of being that the blue-focused version of Bant aims to spread. Imagine a world where each of us played the role best suited to us, and through that, all contributed to the greatness of the whole. Such a world could be governed by logic and the needs of the greater good, and through this, a utopia for all. You see, we're taught to pursue success on our own, to stand apart as individuals. But what if we understood deep down that the strength we seek lies in unity, not in isolation? Imagine if we organized our world around common goals, where a person derived their own value from that contribution. In this way, we would build places of learning so that each of us could work towards our own future while contributing to the future of all. I think to how humanity's greatness is a culmination of what came before. Bant says that if we doubled down on this idea and really leaned into each person's strengths and used one another as a springboard, then the limits of what we could achieve is endless. This, Bant would say, is at the heart of what makes us truly great. Harmony can be achieved only when we are able to logically recognize the need for the structures in place that strike a balance between who we are and what our existence was meant to be here on this earth. There is a peace here, a way of letting go of simple wants in favor of searching for enlightenment. Green is a color of wisdom, of seeing the bigger picture and how we fit into it. For some, this might bring anxiety, but for green, it's something to be desired. Now, of course, nature will take its course and sometimes carry green away with it. But when we introduce Azorius, it becomes structured in a way that allows for the individual to achieve a higher state of self through regimented action and self-reflection. Rooted in things like tradition, practice, and thoughtful meditation, Bant believes that through this we can achieve a higher state of being. You see, by introducing Azorius to green, it acts like an anchor grounding a wandering vine. No longer does the green spirit drift from whim to whim, but instead grows intentionally, embracing its nature while remaining aligned to something steady. Here, discipline becomes a means to clear away the distractions that keep us from seeing ourselves as we are meant to be. Through such routines built into a structured way of being, it acts to refine oneself, to prune all of that which clutters the mind and soul, leaving only what's essential, pure, and connected, a life of true balance. For this version of Bant, this is enlightenment, the deep calm that comes when we know our place, our purpose, and how we can grow into it fully, with patience and intention. Bant teaches us that real strength lies in a vision shared, built on purpose and unity. It isn't about the power of one, but the strength of many, each piece working toward a whole that's greater than any single ambition. When discipline aligns with wisdom and shared ideals, it forms a path to something enduring, a way of life that prizes dedication, order, and a respect for all parts working in harmony. In embracing the philosophy of Bant, we see a call to shape the world not just for today, but for a future built with steady hands and an unwavering commitment to a common good. Thanks for watching, and with that we end the Shards of Magic, which means it's now time to begin with the wedges. So if you don't want to miss that, then be sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you are new here, then be sure to check out this playlist here with all the other colors and combinations I've made videos on so far. And with that, friends, I will catch you in the multiverse. Bye.